speaking of spring breakers, Selena Gomez, who I've met a couple of times, by the way, totally charming. Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender, according to this story in Variety, has signed up for the brutalist filmmaker Brady Corbett's new X-rated film that they're going to be doing. Now, I'll tell you why I find this interesting in a second. First, let's go through the story a bit here. It says Cate Blanchett and Selena Gomez are set to star in the brutalist director Brady Corbett's next film alongside Michael Fassbender. During a masterclass at Cannes, just goes on to say that Blanchett kind of confirmed that she's going to be doing it. Plot details of the still untitled film remain shrouded in secrecy, though Corbett has said in interviews that he was looking to make an X-rated feature set in the 1970s. The film spans from the 19th century to present day. It's just predominantly focused in the 1970s. The film is really, really genre-defying, he told The Hollywood Reporter. It's also reportedly being shot using very rare 8-perf 65mm cameras, which, I don't know. Some of these filmmakers just like to, they got this obsession with doing something quirky and weird, but you know what? More power to them if it helps them express their creativity. All right. So a couple of thoughts on this. First of all, it's very rare when you hear about a Hollywood production that even before they start shooting anything is outright saying, we're aiming for an X rating. This is going to be X rated. Because there are consequences to making something X-rated. A lot of theater chains will not carry an X-rated film. No law prohibits them from doing it. It's just something they don't do. We could go into the whole muck of it all, but I won't bore you with the details of it. I remember one time when I was still working at AMC, we had this little horror film coming out, and they did not submit it to the MPA for a rating. And generally speaking, most movie theater chains won't carry something if it doesn't submit for a rating and get a rating. It was unrated, but AMC decided to release it anyway. And that was kind of a big deal at the time. So saying you're going to make it X-rated, which limits your audience, which sounds like it's a movie that should have its audience limited anyway. Interesting. If it was going to come from a director, this is one of the directors that I would expect that it would be coming from. Hopefully it will not be a 7-hour thing.
He says it's 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't believe anybody who's going to finance this movie will let him make it 4. Because no theaters will then play it. No theaters will play a 4-hour movie.
It'll be like Nymphomaniac, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. Break it into 2 films. There you go. Break it into 2 films. So here's the thing that I find really interesting, though. Although Selena Gomez, and you talk about Spring Breakers, right? Between her earlier career and, being in this delightful, charming, wonderful Only Murders in the Building show, which she is so good in. I think a move like this is what it reminds me of, Rob. Tell me if you agree. It reminds me of when Anne Hathaway did Havoc. Anne Hathaway, a lot of people will forget, prior to doing Havoc, she was the Disney princess. She was perceived, her whole kind of motif was that she was this, classy, sweet, innocent Disney princess because she played princesses multiple times, because of course she did. But once she did Havoc, it totally changed the perception of her. Not in a negative way, but in a bigger way. People suddenly were looking at Anne Hathaway as, oh, she doesn't just have to do these, she can do anything, which ultimately led her to, I'm not saying Havoc led her to winning an Academy Award, but it kind of opened the door for her career to go in whatever direction she wanted after that. Because Havoc had some very risque things, was her first nude scene and all that kind of stuff. But what it did was it opened the door to people being willing to look at her in ways other than she was already being preconceived. And I wonder if Selena Gomez, who doesn't quite have the princess image that Anne Hathaway had prior to Havoc, but I wonder if Selena Gomez is kind of looking at this and saying, an X-rated film by a guy whose movie just won a bunch of Academy Awards, this could be very door opening for me. And I think if that's her and her team's philosophy, I don't think they're wrong. Doesn't automatically mean it'll work. I mean, what's her name from Saved by the Bell did the
Showgirls.
did Showgirls. That it did not exactly open a bunch of doors afterwards, although she was in Any Given Sunday.
She was.
So I'll give her that.
But Elizabeth Berkley's my spirit animal. God bless her.
I just think this is a really interesting move, and I like the move. I really do. I think this is a good move for her. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this. Well, what do you think about the sounds of this project?
Well, I'm interested in Brady Corbett's work. Obviously, somebody brought up the idea that he was terrific in Greg Araki's movie Mysterious Skin, which is a wonderful, incredible film. It also has an incredible soundtrack. And Greg Araki's always been a boundary-pushing filmmaker. He made, of course, the great Teen Apocalypse trilogy that I have on Criterion Disc. But no, I can understand where he got his desire to push the envelope. But here's the thing. Like, if you're going to make an X-rated film, which I would assume means graphic sex, or violence, but probably graphic sex, I don't know if anybody has done that effectively to make a narrative feature that has been able to incorporate sexuality that way in the modern age. I mean, I think back to a famous movie that I think is a terrific film. One of my favorite horror movies of the 70s is a movie called Don't Look Now that stars Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland. And it's directed by the great Nicholas Roeg. And they famously had sex for real in that movie, and you see it, and it's an incredible intimate scene, but it's not like pornographic. It doesn't stop like bow chicka bow bow. Look, they're having sex. No, it has a narrative.
That's
purpose.
The soundtrack of my life, by the way.
There you go.
Just throwing that out there.
but it works in a movie like that. I just wonder if it's even possible to do what he wants to do. If anybody could do it, he could probably do it. But I wish that they wouldn't say they're going to make an X. How do you say what movie you're going to make? I mean, obviously it's going to be simulated sex, but it's like saying you're making a cult film before you've made it. You know, I mean, it's. I would rather them. I think the premise is intriguing and the cast is great. I mean, Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, and her. I mean,
and
great.
we just saw Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett work together, and it was really good.
It was really good. And then also Fassbender's been in the movie where he played the sex addict.
Yep.
Yeah.
That got him an Academy Award nomination, if I'm not mistaken.
He was just heartbreakingly searing great in that film. But oh my God, what a hard movie to watch. So I'm all for it. But you know, the idea we're going to make it X-rated. Well, if the movie requires it, okay. I'd be interested to see what you do.
The Mattaween in our live chat is saying, man, the CinemaCon presentation on this will be lit.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a CinemaCon.
I don't think we're getting a big CinemaCon presentation on this one.
Yeah, and who's going to show it?
It's not going to be in Hall H. It's going to be in Hall O.
Hall X.
Although the idea of seeing the sex in 65 millimeter. All right.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The director of The Brutalist is saying his next film is going to be kind of a time-spanning X-rated film, but he's got actors like Michael Fassbender, Cate Blanchett, and really interestingly, Selena Gomez, and I think this would be an interesting move for. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.